Welcome back on Ilizwi Lembokoto. Like I had told you before the ad break, I'm with Utanya right now, who's a holistic lifestyle coach. She's here to tell us about digestion. Hi, Tanya, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're going to tell us first, why is it so important to chew your food thoroughly?
Well, I guess if you think about it, there are a couple of things that happen when you eat. And so when you hold a mouthful of food in your mouth and you start to chew it, what happens is that some of that, it starts to get digested from the saliva, the enzymes in the saliva. And the other thing that it allows to have happen is that our bodies need to produce hydrochloric acid in order to meet the food that's going to be coming down the digestive tract or down the esophagus. And so it's important that there is enough hydrochloric acid waiting for that bite of food. So we want to hold that food in there and chew it really well, give the signals to the body, make sure enough is digested in the mouth, and then we swallow it. Now, if there's enough hydrochloric acid produced, what happens is that it has a very powerful effect on food, hydrochloric acid, we'll call it HCl. It basically kills all pathogens. So any nasties that might be on your food, like parasites and fungi and those sorts of things, are going to be killed by HCl. So you definitely want enough HCl in your system. The other thing that HCl does, which is really important, is that it helps you to digest your proteins and calcium specifically. Other things also, but it's very important for those too. And if you think about the way the body operates, you can't build bones, for example. You can't increase density of bones without amino acids. Amino acids are the basic form of proteins. And so you can't really do that without making sure that HCl helps you break down your proteins. So a lot of people have a situation where they're taking a lot of protein in, but they're actually not digesting it terribly well, and they're not utilizing it terribly well. So they can't form,
So it's mostly to do with the bacteria.
No, it's mostly to do with, excuse me, there's as I say, two sort of elements to it. The one is that it helps you to kill pathogens. Okay, so when you chew your mouthful of food, you're actually increasing the surface area of food because you're chewing it so well. If you think about it, if you chew 3 times and then swallow, you've got quite a small surface area of food. But if you chew 100 times and then swallow, you've got a massive surface area of food. And so HCl can kill all pathogens on that. But also with a smaller surface area of food, HCl can, or with a larger surface area, should I say, HCl can actually help you digest and assimilate and utilize the amino acids or the proteins that you've just consumed. And those will help you build hormones, brain tissue, muscle tissue, and bones.
Wow, just by chewing.
Just by
Another
chewing.
thing that I'm thinking of is that when you're pregnant, you're told that you should avoid any kind of food that has bacteria, like sushi and stuff like that. You have to avoid them. So I'm guessing that having to chew your food as well, because it's very important to chew your food thoroughly when you're pregnant as well. It's also to avoid such bacteria from your mouth.
Yes, it will help.
Wow.
Yes, it will help tremendously. And there was an interesting case study done in a book that I read recently that had suggested that a guy, he was an obese man, but he decided, so he was very, very overweight, and he decided that he wasn't going to change anything about what he ate. He was simply going to chew well. And he lost an extraordinary amount of weight. Because, of course, what happened by chewing well is that he didn't eat as much because his brain was able to tell him he was full, with less calories consumed than he normally would have done.
So it also goes to actually relaxing while you're eating rather than rushing your food. Why is that important as well?
If you think about the way the nervous system operates, it has 2 sides to it. And I don't want to be too technical, but one is called the parasympathetic side, which is the rest and digest side. It's the soft side, it's the building, it's the repairing, it's the maintenance side. And you have to be relaxed in order for that side to be switched on. So in order to digest and assimilate and utilize the food you're eating, you want to be relaxed, because that way that side of the nervous system is operating well. If you're on the other side, which is the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight side, that's the high stress side. You know that sensation when you get a fright. Let's say you're driving and someone almost drives into you. You get that sudden kind of spurt of adrenaline and you feel wired and shaky, and that's the fight and flight side. So if you're going to eat, you have to make sure you're not eating on that side of things. So in other words, if you're in a state of stress, of high stress, let's say you're arguing with someone, or you're thinking about, got no money this month, I don't know how I'm going to get through, or you're thinking about deadlines you've got, or your car's broken down, you're busy trying to eat lunch on your way to get somewhere, or you're standing eating, there are so many different ways we can put ourselves into a stressed kind of state.
Mm.
But eating in that state is far worse than actually just not eating at all.
At all.
Yeah, because you really want to be in a relaxed state so that everything's working as it should digestively.
And we as women tend to eat more when we're stressed out or panicking.
Yeah, I think it's a common kind of thing. You know, there's sort of that emotional eating. Although I have my own feelings on that, and we can again discuss that in another session sometime. But that's got a lot to do with biochemistry and avoiding certain foods. But yes, I think there are times certainly where when you're in high stress, it might be just something that kind of settles you down. It's kind of like a smoker smoking a cigarette. Cigarettes don't actually reduce stress; they increase stress on the system. But smokers feel like they're de-stressing with that habit.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with people who eat when they're stressed.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for your time and all the advice that you have given us.
My pleasure.
That's it from us on Ilizwi Lembokoto. Tonight we're with Usis Mandlakazi Skefile, and right now we're with Utanya. Utanya has advised us to eat our food thoroughly, to chew properly, actually, to chew our food thoroughly, to relax while eating, and always eat your raw foods first. Don't forget to catch us every Monday, 6:30 p.m. here on Bay TV, channel 260. Good night.